I think I've just found the best tool to create educational content. If you create step-by-step tutorials, how-tos, or need to record your screen, this one's for you. Ready? Let's do this. Hi, my lovely people. It's Natalia, and welcome back to my channel where I help you create better content and grow on social media. So I've started using a new screen recorder, and it seems to have caught your attention. Now, I can't blame you. This is a game changer, and I'm not even exaggerating. It's so smooth, so aesthetic, so easy to use. It does a lot of work for you to add like zoom-ins for steps with great motion effects, and it allows you to record your Mac screen or your iPhone too. It really speaks for itself. The software is called Screen Studio, and since I've discovered it, I've been using it every single day. It saves me countless hours I'd otherwise spend in DaVinci Resolve or Descript. It works great for my Reels, Shorts, and TikToks, and it's hands down the best screen recorder I've used for content creation. Shout out to my amazing friend Jules from Designer in Your Pocket for putting it on my radar. Now, unfortunately, for now, it's available for MacBooks only. Hopefully, it will change at some point, but you know me, there's no gatekeeping on this channel, so you're in for a treat. I'm bringing you a tutorial for a beginner so that you can start creating content with it easily too. So the first thing you see when you open Screen Studio is this recording panel right here. You can grab it and reposition it the way you like, and you can actually choose how you want to record. So from the first four options in here, you can see that you can record your display. I have two different displays. You will not see it on the screen, but you can see that when I move my mouse on top of the screen that I want to record, it gets highlighted. So this is how you can record one of your screens. Next, you've got the window option. Let me just open my Canva so that you can see what I'm talking about. So I can just select to record, in that case, my Canva window. But what I love about this especially is that you can actually go ahead and resize this window. So if I click on it, you can see the specified dimensions. You can also choose the different types of ratios. If you're recording something for a vertical format, for example, your Instagram Reels or your YouTube Shorts, you will be able to just choose a ratio from here, or you can go ahead and choose custom. I'm just going to show you with this example what that's going to look like. And with one click, it just seamlessly resizes that window for me. So it's a really cool feature. Next, we also have an area. So you can see that you will be able to just drag the sides of this area and move around this selection. You can also specify the size in here, or just grab and drag the cursor to select the part that you want to record it. And the last one, of course, is the device. I've mentioned at the very beginning of this video that you are able to record your iPhone with Screen Studio, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that towards the end of this video, so make sure you stick around. Next, we also have the options for recording your camera. So let me just enable my Facetune camera in here, and you can see that this lovely box appears, and you can see me in the screen like this, and you will be able to just record yourself talking through your tutorial or your presentation. Next, we have some microphone options. You can choose different microphones from the options in here. Choose not to record microphone at all. But what I love about this is that you can actually choose to reduce your noise and normalize volume, which adds that extra layer of editing to your audio and makes sure that your audio is as crisp and best quality possible. And of course, you've got the system audio as well. You can choose to record system audio from all apps, just the selected apps, or not to record the system audio at all. At the very end, we've got some advanced features. You can look through it and see what applies to your use cases, but some of the things that I really like from here is that you can actually change the countdown duration. So you can choose to not have any countdown whatsoever. The standard is 3 seconds, but if you need more time or less time, you can do it from here as well. And another amazing feature that Screen Studio has is the show speaker notes. So if I click on it, you can see that this little panel appears, and as it says in the instructions, it just prompts you to enter your notes in here, and this window will not be visible while you're recording. So this is amazing. It's like your mini prompter. So if you're, again, recording a presentation, you have some notes for your tutorial, you're able to just utilize that little window to have your outline for the video, for example, a really great feature. And in the settings in here, you can actually change the prompter speed or the notepad opacity so that you can see what's going on underneath, which I do really appreciate because when I record my Canva tutorials, for example, I'm able to just see what's happening underneath. Of course, all of this looks absolutely great, but this is not where the magic of Screen Studio really lies. Wait till you see how it actually records and what amazing results you can actually get from it. So let me just record something for you just so you can see what I'm talking about. Now, I love a good simple interface, and I think Screen Studio really does it so well. It's not intimidating, it's not overcomplicated like some of the software out there, which means that it's perfect for beginners who still want quality outcome out of everything they produce. I'm just going to play it so you understand where the magic happens. You can see that it understands automatically where those zoom-ins are supposed to go. They're inserted automatically for you within the timeline. You can see that goes out, it goes in. It actually follows the cursor as well. So this is quite a cool thing about this whole program, that it really saves you so much time when it comes to the editing itself. Now, it looks really beautiful, but let me show you what the editor can do and all the great features. So within the editor, at the very top, you've got the place where you can just change the name of your project. You can view your previous projects or bin this one, and you actually also have the presets. I'll talk about them in just a moment. Now, in here below the preview, you actually have the timeline with the great features that we've got in here. And there's also the right panel where all of those amazing options from within Screen Studio Editor really live. But let me show you what you can actually do with this part. So from here, when you click on this auto panel, you can actually just change the aspect ratio of your recorder. So you can see that I can go to something like square, for example. I can go for vertical if I'm recording tutorials for, say, again, my YouTube shorts or my Instagram reels, for example. I can easily do it from here. And the way it changes is that it still kind of follows the cursor, as you can see, and it just, follows the whole aspect of this video and zooms out on the particular elements, which I really, really love. Let me go back to the wide ratio in here. You can actually go ahead and crop to a specific area, for example, but I just want to leave it at that. You also have the playback features in here and the split clip tool. I really love it because if you don't want a portion of your video, you maybe stopped talking for a moment or made a mistake and you just want to remove that portion of the video, you can just hit S or just select those scissors from here and you can just click like this and you'll be able to just remove that clip like that. And if you think you want to get that portion back, you can just click on this little icon in here to undo the trim and to join those clips. So everything is reversible, which I really, really love. Sometimes you're just missing those parts and you want to bring them back. So this is a really cool feature. And from here, you can zoom in or zoom out of the timeline. Again, a really useful feature. Let's move on to the right panel because this is where you can actually make your whole video look so much better. From the first icon in here, you can change the options for background and screen. You can choose your wallpaper from, Mac OS. So you can choose the ones that are suggested in here. You can go to a gradient and choose your hex code. Same goes for a solid color. If you have a specific brand color that you use, you can actually just enter it in here. You can also choose an image. I very often use my kind of gradient in here so I can actually show you what it looks like. And you can see in here that I've already kind of made it nice and branded. If you scroll down on any of those features, you can actually adjust the padding and you can see that it kind of nicely centers everything. It moves around your camera as well. So everything is just being done for you automatically. I can go to reset in here. If you prefer more rounded corners, you can do the same thing, or you can just remove that rounding altogether. You can create a little outline and inset in here and change the coloring. Super cool features, so easy to use. I really like how aesthetic it makes everything look. And there's also a little drop shadow in here, which you can adjust the intensity for, or you can just change the advanced shadow settings from here if you want a very specific look. I really love this. Now, when we move on to the second tab, the cursor, you can see from here that you can actually hide the cursor altogether if you're displaying something but you don't want to distract people from what's happening. But of course, for Canva, I would definitely need my cursor and probably a big one at that. So you can see that. And when I'm adjusting the cursor size, the whole hand in here really appears quite nice and big. You can also change the type type of your cursor to something like touch, for example, in here, which I really, really like if you've got something very specific that you don't want hidden underneath that cursor. I really love that one. You can also hide this cursor if it's not moving. So, if there's something that you don't need when you're explaining something, you don't want people to get distracted by that cursor just lingering in there. So you can just disable it completely, or you can loop your cursor position. So if you're looping your videos, you will be able to just kind of have that return to the same position initially, which is super cool. Moving on to the camera, you actually have a chance to, mirror your camera if you prefer. You can adjust the roundness of that lovely box in here. I actually really like that natural roundness that it gave to it, but retained that rectangular aspect. But a lot of my previous tutorials before I started using Screen Studio are actually recorded in a bubble, so I could retain that kind of branded element that I've always used, which is super cool. You can also adjust the sizing of that camera from here. Really great options. Lots of versatility, and you can also hide that camera completely if you don't want it to appear within your video. Now, next we've got captions. This is super cool. You can actually just generate the whole transcript of your recording, which is super cool. You can use that transcript then to, upload as YouTube subtitles or use it for other purposes, like for other pieces of content. So this is a very useful tool. I'll let it just do its thing and generate. Once it's processed, it adds those captions for you, so I can change the transcript size like this. I can just reset it back to the original. I can edit the transcript, export the transcript. Super useful features, and I can also hide it completely if I just want the transcript for my own use. Now, in the audio settings, apart from muting the microphone or muting the system audio that got recorded while we were recording the screen, you can also improve the microphone audio. Again, it reduces the noise, it normalizes the volume, which is super useful for those of you who don't know how to edit audio that much, including myself. I'm not an audio person, definitely. So these features are always super useful to me, and I'm very glad that this is available within Screen Studio as well. And then keyboard shortcuts. This is something that I really, really love, especially when I'm recording my Canva tutorials. I use shortcuts in pretty much any app that I use, and those shortcuts sometimes get missed in translation. You don't really see me doing things on my keyboard. So for me, this is such a big thing. I don't think I've used any of the shortcuts in here, but I'll try to insert a little clip for you so you can see what it looks like. It basically just displays what kind of a shortcut I've used, which is great because it immerses the audience in the whole process, not just bits of it. And also, I feel like it encourages people to use shortcuts as well, which is really, really great. And you can adjust that sizing from here as well when you use the shortcuts. Again, they would be kind of shown within the video as well. And then you've got the animations. So you can see that across the board, when you're kind of moving things in and moving things out, your cursor is moving as well. So from this panel, you're able to actually change the motion blur that appears when you're zooming in and out. You can change the cursor movement animation style. I really love the natural mellow look because it's just so much more aesthetic than what we're used to, but you can go back to the slow bit. You can go for a quick one. Anything that you like, you can choose. I'll just go back to the mellow in here. And same goes for the zoom movement animation style. You will be able to adjust these from here like this. And you can see that when you click, it actually tries to show you what these look like from your preview. Now, once you have all of your settings chosen, including your aspect ratio and crop in here, you can actually go to presets and create a new preset from everything that you've chosen to retain that style so that you can just bring it back with one click. You can see that I've already created a lot of templates for myself for different types of content. For example, for my reels, if I'm recording something for my phone and I'm trying to, show the process for people, you can see how great it looks from here. Again, it's another layer of this workflow that speeds up the whole process apart from all the preset zooms that we've got. And speaking of those zoom ins, let's go back to the timeline and I'll show you what else you can actually do within this panel. From here, you can see the gold clip in here. The golden panel is your main clip. So this is your whole video. And if you right click on it, you'll be able to set the speed, for example. So if you want a sped up tutorial or you're, briefly going through something and you just want to record maybe a voiceover, you will be able to just bring it to something like, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 8 times. This is a really great option. You can also set the volume to 0, for example, again, for those moments where you just want the recording and then you'll will be adding a voiceover, for example. You can split from here as well. And if you go to the zooms, if you tap on any of the preset zooms, the panel in here appears on the right side, and you can actually adjust those zooms as well. So first, let me show you what you can do from right-clicking. Of course, you can remove it. You can duplicate it if you like the style that you've applied to this particular zoom. You can disable it completely. You can set the zoom level so you can zoom in to something like 2 times, or you can zoom in to only like 1.5, which is the default that I've set for myself. But I think normally it's set to 2 times. You can disable all of the zooms from here, or you can restore the default zoom ranges. So if you're playing around from the timeline, you will be able to actually adjust how long those zooms are. You can actually also split the zooms like this, just the same way as you would with the main clip, like this. And if you ever want to go back, you can also go to restore all default zoom ranges, and you see that it got back to 2 points in here, which is really great, and it got to an auto zoom like this. Now, what I love about this panel in here is that you can actually, again, completely disable the zoom in here, but retain the position on the timeline just in case you ever want to get back to it and actually get that zoom from here. If you don't like the positioning of the zoom, you can change from auto to manual. And from here, with this big dot in the middle, you will be able to adjust where that zoom goes, which is super cool and gives you more power to control what your final video looks like. I'll just go back to the auto. And again, from here, you will be able to change the zoom level from, 2 times to something bigger like 3 times, or go to like 1.3 or 1.5, for example. Or again, you can just reset. If you like a particular zoom, again, I went from 2 times to something like 150%. I can just go to set to default in here, or apply it to all zooms. So you can see that on my timeline now, everything is back to 1.5, which is a really great feature. You've got all the other options. You can, change the direction and the glide speed from here. Now, if you don't like the zoom, you can just hit backspace like this, and you will be able to just remove it altogether. For example, in here, I'm showing how I'm selecting a part of the text. If I do want to focus on this, I can just click like that, and it will just create that zoom in automatically for me, and I can stretch it to the point that I want. Let's say that change of the name is still something that I want to show. So you can see how easy it is to just change things up. Now, let's say I'm super happy with the final result. I can go to the top in here and go to the export options. So from here, you can see that I can export it as an MP4 video, or I can just export it as a GIF, which is also a fun feature if you're just, for example, featuring a part of the tutorial as a part of a post, or if you're showing it within a presentation as well and don't want a video, you can do it from here as well. You can choose the frame rate from here and the output size. So you can go up to 4K, you can go to HD, anything you like is available from here. And then the quality in here, the compression level, you can choose based on your use case. So for example, if I'm exporting something for my YouTube channel, I have the option to choose the highest quality with the studio option. But if I were going for something like an Instagram tutorial, for example, something that I'm really briefly showcasing on my social media, I can just go to social media and make sure that I'm not really using up too big of the files, because they can add up. I can also choose the web or the web low, which is much lower quality, for example. And something that I really love from the export tab is that apart from just classically exporting to file, you can actually just copy your whole projects to a clipboard, which means that in programs like Canva, for example, something that I use all the time, if I want to just put that video in there, I can just copy that whole project or copy that whole video to a clipboard and just paste it into Canva, and that's going to upload it for me, and I can just seamlessly work between the two. So I really love the fact that it's simplifying the whole workflow. Really great feature. I love that. And from here, again, I can just go to Studio, for example, and just hit export to file. Now, the last bit that I want to show you is something that I really love for content creation. It's really helpful to me, but I think it would be very helpful to you, especially if you sometimes need to record your screen of your phone, but again, in a nicer, more aesthetic way. So what I'm going to do is to just plug my iPhone to my Mac, and from here, you will be able to choose the device of recording. Now, from here, you can see that I can just go to iPhone from here, and you can just start recording like this. Now, let's get ready and you'll see what it looks like in just a second. I'll just quickly record something for you. Perfect. So you can see how easy it actually is to just record. I plugged my phone. I was able to just record from my screen. And again, this whole panel appears for me with my whole recording ready. At the very beginning, I was very quiet. I was just recording what was happening on the screen. But from here, you can see where the audio appears. So you actually have a visual for this. I would be able to just maybe split it and actually have two separate videos for my content, for example. But from here, you can also add those zoom ins. So let's use one of my presets. I will just use that for Reels when I want to just expand it differently. And you can see that my whole camera disappears because I don't normally use my camera for when I'm creating short form video content. But from here, I can just add some of the zoom ins. So for example, if I wanted to like show something in here, I would be able to do it from here. And if it's not really showing what you like, you can see that the zoom is actually a manual one. So I can actually drag it to the top like this just to be able to show the top of the screen. And let me show you what it looks like. Just like that, you can see that I've zoomed in on this portion, and this is how you can seamlessly create those zoom ins like this. And again, you can just keep adding those zoom ins for the portions that you want to highlight like this. You can change the manual adjustment if you're tapping on something different like this. You can choose the different zoom level, for example, if you want a bit more of that border in here. Again, everything depends on the visuals that you've actually created, from the background, from the aspect ratio in here. So all the different things you can actually adjust. Of course, once you're happy, you can just export it as you would with our previous example. Now, what I love so much about Screen Studio is that it offers a lifetime one-off purchase, which, let's all be honest, is so rare nowadays. Another massive plus here is that you can just try it for free. So you can interact with the tool, you can record the content, you can edit it, all that good stuff, just to see how much you like it. And only when you want to export the video will you be prompted to purchase. Now, it's great because you can really get familiar with the tool and see if it's your vibe before you actually commit to it. So check out the link in the description box to try it yourself. And I'm sending a big shout out to Adam, the creator of Screen Studio, who is also Polish, just like I am. Thank you so much for creating this tool, a lifesaver. Now, drop me a comment if you've enjoyed this tutorial and would like to see more content like this, and check out this playlist next to get your content creation to the next level. And of course, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. It really helps my videos do well, and in turn, helps me create more value for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.